As some of you may know, I was in China until a while ago. Do not ask me to speak any Mandarin though, because my Mandarin is not very good. A lot of people in China use this app called Xiaohongshu. The literal translation is Little Red Book. People post everything on there. Recipes, tutorials, vlogs, even using it as marketplace. My friends and I usually use it to look for restaurant recommendations or fun places to go on the weekends. To put it simply, it's kinda like Pinterest but with steroids. A lot of steroids. 简简单单，几笔美味，咬字出来一个。You know, every time I read Chinese characters, either one, I can read them but don't know the meaning. Two, I know what they mean but can't read them. Or 3, I can both read and understand them. But that doesn't happen very often. I'm not gonna pretend to know what it means, so let's type it on the Google Translate. Okay, so here's the translation. Just a few simple strokes and delicious kidney what? Just a few simple strokes and delicious kidney will come out? What? Is the meaning lost in translation or something? Delicious kidneys? This tutorial has no written explanation, so I will deploy my amazing perception skills, which only big brain people can comprehend, and I sound like an ass. I'm sorry. To make it simpler, the abs or the belly can be separated into several parts. I separate it into blue, green, pink, purple, and yellow. If you wanna know the exact biological names, go read a book. The tutorial directly applies strong shadows on the base color, which I am terrified to do. But you know what? Fear will not get me an anime girl's abs and waist, so I will color it just like the tutorials. As long as we have the tutorial to hold our hands, fear nothing. By the way, this video won't get any yellow dollar signs just because I draw belly, right? Like chill, YouTube, this is just a drawing practice. Now we are going to apply stronger shadows on the curve of the waist. I'm pretty much just following the tutorial here. I will leave a link in the description for the full tutorial video if you want to check it out. Afterwards, we're painting over the sketch. I still get some questions asking how do I paint over my sketches, and I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, just paint over the sketch. It's pretty much self-explanatory. I suppose you could use the darker shadow to replace the sketch. If it looks unnatural, use lighter shadow on top of it. I guess that's how I usually do it. Now, because the abs contain layers of muscles and fat, the shading is more complicated than a face. It needs to look firm, yet soft at the same time. That's why I prefer to study other people's art instead of real abs picture, because I don't have to spend a lot of time to simplify the shadings. For example, I noticed the original artist is applying lighter shadows on top of the darker ones to recreate the fat of the belly. I would not be able to get that from real pictures because I'm not big brain like that. Anyway, I'm adding more saturated colors with overlay as per usual, and that's pretty much it. Don't forget to check out the original artist on Xiaohongshu, link in the description. This is a rendering tutorial from Black Sister. What? Okay. Most of the tutorials I find don't come in video form, such as this one. But again, with my perception and impeccable Mandarin skills, I'm just kidding, I will explain it to you. This is a grayscale painting, which is a great method to practice rendering. There are a lot of arrows in the guide here, and that indicates the volume, which is very important in semi-realistic rendering. I can tell you're confused, so let me explain using a circle. Suppose the darkest shadow is here, and then it's faded the closer it reaches the light source. So if represented by an arrow, it will go like this. Hope that easy to understand. For this video, I'm using this new brush I found recently called Flat Watercolor Opaque. The texture on this brush is very soft and it has a faded tip, which is very convenient in rendering. You can also control the amount of paint depending on the pen pressure. Use a large brush for the base shading. Avoid any details and just focus on the volume of the head. Midtones are very important in giving volume, so pay attention to that. To make midtones, just take a darker color, swipe it softly, and then take the color using eyedropper tool. There, 很简单，是不是? Next, we are drawing the facial features. Nothing too detailed, this is just to pinpoint where the eyes, nose, and mouth are. For rendering practice, it is recommended to skip the sketching, as it can get too detailed. However, painting directly can be too hard, so you can sketch first using a circle and a cross, or using Loomis method, whatever sketching method you prefer. Black Sister didn't show us how they draw the eye, so let Sister Fong tell you her method. First, you create the eye hole. and then using light gray for the white part of the eyes. And then you draw the iris, and oh good lord, what have I done? If this happens, erase the top part and add eyeliner and also eyelids. There, she looks less insane now. The next step is to add smaller but darker shadows. This is to emphasize the facial features. Now, according to the tutorial, the shadow should be placed on the eye holes, outer part of the face, nose bridge, and lips. Please note that different lighting will result in different shadows. If you want to play it safe, create another layer and set it to multiply to apply these darker shadows, so you can adjust the intensity and fix it easily should you make any mistakes. But honestly, as long as you set your brush opacity to low, you're not gonna mess up that bad, I think. Okay, it's highlight time. Add the highlights gradually using light gray. Do not use white because it would look unnatural and oily, like my nose. Speaking of noses, they typically have smaller yet stronger highlights. Foreheads and cheeks will have bigger yet softer highlights, so you want to use low opacity brush on those areas. Finally, I will draw more details and outline the facial features. You can also add hair if you want, but I think she looks better bald. Wait, actually, it's not finished without tiny little highlights. Not too many and not too big. We want a nice healthy glow, not sprayed with olive oil glow. And there we go, our beautiful, bold, bonita princess. Big thanks to Black Sister on Xiaohongshu. I will leave a link to their post in the description if you want to check it out yourself. Now let's move on. This one is from hold on. Zhi Shangjun. I told you my Mandarin isn't good. Clothing folds and creases can be a nightmare. So here they're showing you how to edit your references, so it's very easy to use. For this, I have prepared a painting of Chongli sans his robes. Feng Idol Chongli has a full body tattoo. I forgot. Okay, I made a boo-boo. Anyway, this is the reference I use for Chongli. I know what you're thinking. A very fine specimen indeed. But for now, we only need the robes. So I will remove the rest of him, kinda like that. And then we'll go to gradient map. I'm using the one in Procreate. You can use IBIS Paint if you want. I already made a gradient map a while ago, but let me show you how to make one. On the gradient library, click on the plus sign and you'll immediately get this black and white gradient. All you have to do is move them around until you get your desired results. Now we can paint with our newly edited reference, and it should be easier to see the creases and folds of the robes. I always have problems with painting clothes and fabric, which is why I draw a lot of portraits. But with this gradient map trick, I can simplify the folds with more ease. Oh, I think it's better to move this part of the robe below the skin layer because I'm afraid I might ruin his biceps and armpit, and we don't want that. Thank you so much to Zhi Shangjun for such an interesting tutorial. I will definitely use this hack whenever I want to draw clothes. Oh, this is so gorgeous! Look at all the colors and the details, and look at the hair rendering. It is just, godsend. Chinese artists, dude. They're just built different. So the artist put up a subtitle in simplified Chinese characters. I will read it to you and translate it with my impeccable knowledge of the Mandarin language. I'm just kidding, my Mandarin is not very good. Please forgive me if I made any mistakes. 我发现了一个很快能让画面动起来的方式. Okay, it means I have discovered a quick method to make the drawing move. Yeah, I think that's about right. In case you're wondering, no, they're not using Procreate Dreams, aka Procreate for Animation. No, this is the regular Procreate. 那就是电气图库第二. Oh, wait, I saw the Liquify interface on the bottom. Oh, I know how to animate it. Let's try it out on our own Schweike. First, pick Liquify, it's under adjustment, and then just move the face around as much as you like. I will also move the hair a little. Now click on the adjust icon, drag it, and your drawing can now move. Amazing! Now let's try on his whole body. Move it over here, drag it over there. Okay, and then we make him dance. Does it look like he has an aneurysm to you? By the way, you can also do this in IBIS Paint with the exact same method. But you need to click on this icon and drag the strength. Super easy and fun to try. Thank you so much to Hold on. Pella has a peach. Huh, good to know. Alright, I am off to enjoy some nasi padang, best food in the world. And that's about it. Bye!